Captain Veltar Kesh stood on the bridge of his ship, the Zephyrian Dawn. His 4 eyes looked at the blue and green planet on the main screen. After 3 years of traveling through space, they had finally found what they were looking for. A perfect world. Science Officer Molt, what do your scans show? Veltar asked. Drixon Molt checked his instruments. His gray skin glowed softly as he worked. Captain, this planet is amazing. It has water, oxygen, and the right temperature for life. But I see no cities, no technology, no signs of intelligent beings. Veltar felt excited. The Zephyrian people needed new worlds to explore and study. This planet looked perfect. It was far from other space-traveling races, quiet and safe. Take us closer, Veltar ordered. We will study this world and then claim it for our people. The ship moved toward the planet. Veltar watched the beautiful blue world grow larger on his screen. He could see white clouds and brown land masses. It looked peaceful. Then something strange happened. Captain, Molt shouted. I am reading some kind of energy signals coming from around the planet. What kind of signals? Veltar asked. I do not know. They are very weak. Maybe old satellites or space junk from a dead civilization. Veltar nodded. Many planets had old technology floating around them. It was normal. But as they got closer, the weak signals became stronger. Much stronger. Captain Molt said, his voice worried. These signals are not old. They are active, and they are pointing weapons at us. Before Veltar could respond, bright lights flashed around their ship. Their shields sparked and went down. Their weapons stopped working. In just a few seconds, their advanced ship became helpless. What happened? Veltar demanded. Unknown. Sir, something hit us with energy beams. Our systems are shutting down, far below on the planet. Commander Jake Morrison sat in Earth Defense Station Alpha 7. He watched his screens as the alien ship stopped moving. Nice work, Murphy, Jake said to his communications officer. Those new pulse cannons work better than we hoped. Lieutenant Dan Murphy smiled. The aliens probably think they got hit by primitive weapons. They have no idea what really happened. Jake looked at the alien ship on his screen. It was big and had a strange shape, like nothing humans had ever built. But it was also helpless. Now, Dr. Carter, Jake called to the woman working at another station. Are you ready to talk to them? Dr. Lisa Carter nodded. She was Earth's best expert on alien life, even though she had never seen a real alien before today. I have the translation computer ready. If they try to communicate, we should be able to understand them. Jake took a deep breath. This was the moment they had trained for. First contact with an alien race. But these aliens did not know they were making first contact. They thought they had found an empty world. Open a channel, Jake ordered. On the alien ship, Veltar heard strange sounds coming from his speakers. Then the sounds became words he could understand. Unknown vessel. This is Earth Defense Station Alpha 7. You have entered our space without permission. State your purpose. Veltar's 4 eyes went wide. Earth. This planet had a name, and defenders. This is Captain Veltar Kesh, of the Zephyrian Dawn, he said into his communication device. We thought this world was empty. We came here to explore and study. We mean no harm. Jake listened to the translation and felt surprised. The aliens sounded honest and peaceful, not like the dangerous invaders they had prepared to fight. Captain Kesh, Jake said, our scans showed your ship pointing weapons at our planet. That does not look peaceful to us. Veltar quickly checked his instruments. It was true. His ship's automatic systems had pointed their weapons toward the planet when they detected the energy signals. It was a normal safety action, but now it looked threatening. You are right, Veltar said. I am sorry. We pointed weapons because our ship detected your defense systems. It was automatic. We will lower our weapons now. Weapons are already down, Jake said. Along with your shields and engines. You are not going anywhere until we decide what to do with you. Veltar felt confused and scared. How did these people have such powerful weapons? His scans had shown no advanced technology on the planet. Just some basic structures and simple energy sources. I do not understand, Veltar said. Our scans showed your people are primitive. You should not have weapons that can stop our ship so easily. Jake smiled. This was the fun part. Captain Kesh, maybe your scans are not as good as you think they are? Dr. Carter moved closer to Jake's station. Commander, should we let them land? We need to study them and their ship. This is the first real contact we have ever made. Jake thought about it. The aliens seemed peaceful, but they had also come here thinking they could just take over Earth. That made him careful. Captain Kesh, Jake said, we will allow one small shuttle to land at our station. You may bring 3 people, no weapons. We want to talk. Veltar looked around his bridge. His crew looked scared and confused. They had come expecting to find an empty world to claim. Instead, they found a world that could destroy their ship in seconds. We accept, Veltar said. But, may I ask a question? Go ahead. What are humans? Jake laughed. Captain, that is a very long story, and you are not going to like the answer. 2 hours later, a small alien shuttle landed at the defense station. Veltar stepped out with Science Officer Malt and another crew member. They looked around nervously. The humans who met them looked friendly, but alert. They carried no visible weapons, but Veltar had learned not to trust what he could see. Welcome to Earth, Jake said, walking up to the aliens. I am Commander Morrison. This is Dr. Carter. We have much to discuss. Veltar looked at the human base around him. Everything looked simple and basic, but he knew now that looks could be very wrong. Commander Morrison, Veltar said, I think we made a big mistake coming here. Jake nodded. Yes, Captain, you did, but maybe we can help each other learn from it. As they walked into the station, Veltar wondered what other surprises this world might hold. His simple exploration mission had become something much more complicated. He had no idea how complicated it would become. The meeting room in Earth Defense Station Alpha 7 was simple. A basic table, some chairs, and a few computer screens. Nothing fancy. But Veltar now knew that simple things on Earth were not what they seemed. Dr. Helen Brooks sat across from the 3 aliens. She was Earth's best scientist for space physics. Next to her sat Ambassador Carl Stevens, a calm man who spoke many languages. Captain Kesh, Ambassador Stevens said, we want to understand why you came to our world. Veltar shifted in his chair. The human furniture was not made for his body, but he tried to be polite. Ambassador Stevens, we have been traveling space for many years. We look for new worlds to study and explore. Our scans showed your planet was perfect, but empty. Sub-Commander Nixrathane, the Zephyrian cultural expert, spoke up. Your planet confused our instruments. We saw water, air, and plants, but no technology, no cities, no space travel. Dr. Brooks smiled. What exactly did your scans show? Basic energy sources, Science Officer Malt said. Simple structures. Some radio signals like a young civilization might make. Nothing advanced. Show them the comparison, Dr. Brooks said to a technician. A large screen came down from the ceiling. On one side it showed what the Zephyrian scans had detected. Simple buildings, basic power sources, primitive satellites. On the other side, it showed what was really there. Veltar's 4 eyes went wide, where his scans showed a simple power plant. The real image showed a massive fusion reactor, where he saw basic satellites. There were actually advanced weapons platforms, where he saw small cities. There were huge underground complexes. This is not possible, Molt whispered. How did you hide all of this? Veltar asked. Dr. Brooks leaned forward. Captain, we did not hide anything. We made your scans see what we wanted them to see. Ambassador Stevens opened a folder. For the past 40 years, Earth has known about alien visitors. We detected scout ships, probe ships, and observation platforms, all watching us, all studying us. But none of them tried to contact us, Dr. Brooks added. They just watched, and we heard some of their communications. Veltar felt cold. What did you hear? Different things from different races, Stevens said. Some wanted to help us, some wanted to trade, but others had different ideas. The screen changed to show intercepted alien messages. The translation appeared in text that the Zephyrians could read. Target world shows promise for mining operations. Population could be relocated to reservation zones. Primitive species suitable for guidance programs. Recommend standard development. Restrictions. Planetary resources exceed population needs. Suggest management protocols. Nixra read the messages and felt sick. These sound like our own exploration guidelines. Exactly, Dr. Brooks said. Every spacefaring race seems to have rules about what to do with primitive worlds, but none of those rules asked what the primitive people wanted. Captain Betty Walsh, of Earth Defense Corps, entered the room. She was a strong woman with sharp eyes, so we decided to change the game. How? Veltar asked. We made ourselves look harmless, while we built real defenses, Walsh explained. Every alien race watching us saw what they expected to see. A young civilization, not ready for space travel. Dr. Brooks activated another display. We studied every scanner technology we could detect. Then we built projection systems to fool them. Your scans saw our fake signals, not our real technology. But why? Molt asked. Why not just show your real power? Ambassador Stevens looked serious. Because powerful civilizations become targets, weak ones get ignored or managed. We wanted to be neither. We wanted to control first contact, Walsh added. When we were ready, on our terms. The room was quiet for a moment. Then Veltar spoke. You have been lying to the entire galaxy. We have been protecting ourselves, Dr. Brooks corrected, and learning. We know about 17 different alien civilizations now. We know their languages, their politics, and their plans. Plans for Earth, Nixra asked. Stevens nodded. Your people, Captain, were not the first to find us. 3 other races have already made plans for Earth. None of them involved asking humans what we wanted. He showed them more intercepted messages. The Zephyrian Collective's own communications about Earth appeared on the screen. New world detected in Sector 7G, suitable for research colony. Primitive inhabitants pose no threat to operations. Veltar read his own people's words and felt ashamed. We were going to build a research station here. We were going to study your people like animals. Without asking permission, Walsh said firmly. We did not know you were intelligent enough to give permission, Molt said quietly. And that, Dr. Brooks said, is exactly the problem. She stood up and walked to the window. Outside, they could see Earth's landscape. It looked peaceful and simple. Every alien race makes the same mistake, she said. You decide how advanced a civilization is by your own standards. You look for technology like yours. When you do not find it, you assume the species is primitive. But you do have technology like ours, Nixra pointed out. You have weapons that stopped our ship easily. Yes, Brooks agreed. But we also have something you do not expect. What is that? Veltar asked. Patience, Ambassador Stevens said, and the ability to wait and plan while others underestimate us. Captain Walsh activated a new display. It showed the solar system as the Zephyrians saw it, and as it really was. This is what your scans detected, she said, pointing to the first image. A few planets, some asteroids, basic space activity around Earth. And this is what is really here. The second image made all 3 aliens stand up in shock. The entire solar system was full of human activity. Space stations, mining operations, defensive platforms, and ships. Lots of ships. How long have you been hiding this? Veltar whispered. 50 years of building. 40 years of hiding it from alien observers, Walsh said. We have been very busy. Molt looked at his instruments, the ones he had been using to scan Earth. Our equipment detected none of this, because we have been studying your equipment for decades, Dr. Brooks explained. Every probe, every scout ship, every long-range scan. We learned how your technology works. Then we learned how to fool it. Ambassador Stevens closed his folder. Captain Kesh, your people came here thinking you had discovered a primitive world. Instead, you have discovered a civilization that has been watching the Watchers. Veltar sat down heavily. What do you want from us? The truth, Stevens said, about your people's real plans for Earth. About the other alien races watching us. About the galactic community we are not supposed to know about. And then, Nixra asked. Dr. Brooks smiled, but it was not a friendly smile. Then we decide whether to trust you with the truth about what humans really are. Outside the window, what looked like a simple transport plane flew by, but Veltar now wondered if it was really a transport plane at all. Everything he thought he knew about this world was wrong, and he was starting to suspect that everything he thought he knew about the galaxy was wrong too. General Pete Collins arrived at the defense station early the next morning. He was a big man with gray hair and serious eyes. The Zephyrian aliens had spent the night as guests, but they were also prisoners. Now it was time to show them the truth. Ambassador Stevens, the general said, the aliens have been asking questions all night. They want to know about our real military power. Stevens nodded. The Security Council has decided to show them, sir? All of it, Collins asked. All of it. Engineer Amy Richardson was already setting up the demonstration equipment. She was young but brilliant, one of Earth's best experts on stealth technology. General, she said, the deep space monitoring stations are ready. The alien ship is in perfect position to observe our systems test. The 3 Zephyrians were brought to the main observation deck. Captain Veltar looked tired. He had not slept well, knowing his ship was helpless and his crew was trapped. Captain Kesh, General Collins said, you have been asking about Earth's real defenses. Today we will show you. Why? Veltar asked. Yesterday you hid everything from us. Because yesterday you were invaders, Collins replied. Today you might become allies. But first, you need to understand what you are dealing with. Dr. Kevin Lee, Earth's military strategist, activated the main display. This is a routine system test that we run every month. We want you to observe and learn. The display showed the solar system, but this time, it showed everything. The real everything. Computer, Collins commanded, begin system defense test, 7-7 Alpha. In space, things began to move. What the Zephyrians had thought were asteroids suddenly came alive. Massive weapons platforms unfolded from rocks that had been floating in space for decades. Each platform was bigger than the alien ship. Those asteroids, Molt whispered, they are all fake. Not fake, Engineer Richardson said. Real asteroids with our technology built inside them. We have been working on this for 30 years. On the display, they watched as dozens of hidden platforms revealed themselves. Weapons that could destroy capital ships charged up and aimed at empty space. Energy beams fired harmlessly into the void, but the power readings made Veltar step backward. Each of those weapons could cut your ship in half, Dr. Lee said calmly. But that was just the beginning. The moon began to change. The surface split open in several places, revealing enormous gun barrels. A weapons platform the size of a city rose from what the aliens thought was a natural crater. The moon, Nixra said in shock, is a weapon. The moon is many things, Collins said. Mining base, manufacturing center, military headquarters, and yes, a very large weapon. The lunar defense cannon powered up. The energy readings were so high that the Zephyrian instruments on their ship began to overload. That cannon, Veltar said, reading the power levels, could destroy a battle fleet. Or a planet, Richardson added quietly. You built all this while making us think you were primitive, Molt asked. We built this because we knew we were being watched, Lee explained. Every piece of technology you saw was designed to look harmless while hiding the real systems, the demonstration continued. Mars revealed itself as a major military base. What looked like scientific stations were actually shipyards and training facilities. The planet's surface opened to show underground cities and factories. How many people? Live on Mars, Veltar asked. Classified, Collins said. But it is not empty. Then came the ships dot from behind Mars, from the asteroid belt. From hidden bases throughout the solar system, Earth's real fleet appeared. Hundreds of ships, all invisible to alien scanners, until now. We call them ghost ships, Richardson explained. Your scanners cannot see them unless we want them to. The alien delegation watched in growing horror as ship after ship appeared on their screens. Each one was armed with weapons that their own civilization would consider advanced. How long have you had space travel? Nixra asked. Longer than you think, Lee said. We have been flying between planets for 60 years, between stars for 20. But your signals, your energy signatures, they all showed a planet-bound civilization, Molt protested. Because that is what we wanted you to see, Collins said. Every radio signal, every energy reading, every scan result was carefully designed to fool alien observers. The demonstration reached its peak. All of Earth's hidden defenses powered up at once. The energy readings were so massive that they overloaded the Zephyrian ship's sensors completely. This is impossible, Veltar said. No civilization could hide this much technology. No normal civilization, Richardson agreed. But humans are not normal. She activated a new display. This is how we did it. Every piece of our technology has two modes. Public mode, which looks primitive, and real mode, which works. The screen showed examples. A simple car that was actually powered by fusion. A basic radio tower that could communicate across star systems. A weather satellite that was really a weapons platform. Everything you observed was real, she continued. But it was not complete. You saw the outer shell. We kept the real technology hidden inside. Dr. Lee walked to the window. Your people study other civilizations by watching them from far away. You make decisions about them based on what your instruments detect. It is the standard method, Nixra said defensively. It is a flawed method, Lee replied, because it assumes that all civilizations develop technology the same way. It assumes that advanced means visible. General Collins stood in front of the aliens. Captain Kesh, your people came here to claim a primitive world. What you found was a civilization that has been preparing for this moment for 40 years. Preparing for what? Veltar asked. For the day when we would stop hiding, Collins said. For the day when we would take our place in the galaxy. On our own terms. The defense grid powered down, disappearing back into seeming emptiness. Within minutes, the solar system looked primitive again, but now the aliens knew better. Why show us this? Veltar asked. Now we know your secrets, because, Collins said, we want you to take a message back to your people, and to the other races watching Earth. What message? Ambassador Stevens stepped forward. That humanity is not a primitive species to be managed or controlled. We are a hidden power that has been watching you watch us. And that, Collins added, makes us very dangerous. The aliens stood in stunned silence. Everything they thought they knew about this system, about this planet, about these people, was wrong. General Veltar said finally, how many other alien civilizations know about your real capabilities? Collins smiled, but it was not a pleasant smile. Captain, that is an excellent question. The answer might surprise you. What do you mean? We mean, Stevens said, that you are not the first alien delegation to visit Earth. and you will not be the last. Outside the station, what looked like a simple supply ship was landing. But Veltar now knew that nothing around Earth was simple. He wondered what other surprises the humans had planned for him, and he wondered if his own people were as ready for humanity as they thought they were. The next morning brought a new shock for the Zephyrian delegation. Dr. Lisa Carter entered the meeting room, carrying a thick folder marked with symbols they had never seen before. "Captain Kesh," she said, sitting down across from him, "yesterday you asked why we have been so secretive. Today we will show you the real reason." Intelligence Officer Sam Parker joined them. He was a quiet man who moved like a hunter. Behind him came historian Linda Torres, who studied alien civilizations. "What you are about to learn," Parker said, "will change how you see the galaxy." Torres opened her folder and spread out star charts. But these were not normal star charts. They showed trade routes, communication networks, and political boundaries that the Zephyrians did not recognize. "This," Torres said, "is the real map of local space, not the version your people gave you." Veltar studied the charts. "These boundaries are wrong. The hegemony territory does not extend this far, and this trade route has been closed for years." "According to who?" Parker asked. "According to our government. According to the Galactic Council." Double quotes. Dr. Carter smiled sadly. "Captain, there is no Galactic Council." The three aliens looked confused. "Of course there is," Nixra said. "We trade with them. We follow their exploration rules. We report our discoveries to them." "You report to someone," Torres agreed, "but not to who you think." She activated a holographic display. It showed the Zephyrian home system and the communication networks around it. "For the past 4 years," Parker said, "we have been monitoring all communications to and from your territory. Every message your people send to the supposed Galactic Council actually goes here." The display showed a star system the Zephyrians did not recognize. "That is not the Council's location," Molt said. "No," Parker agreed. "It is the home base of the Hegemony Intelligence Service." The room went silent. The Hegemony was supposed to be just another member race of the galactic community, not its secret ruler. "You are saying the Hegemony has been pretending to be the Galactic Council?" Veltar asked. "We are saying," Torres replied, "that there never was a real Galactic Council. The Hegemony created the idea to control other civilizations." Dr. Carter opened another section of the folder. "Captain, how many alien races has your people made contact with?" 7, Veltar said automatically. "Through the Council, you have made contact with 7 races," Carter agreed. "But there are 43 intelligent species in this region of space. That is impossible, is it?" Parker asked. "How do you know?" "Because the Council told you so." Torres activated more displays. They showed alien civilizations the Zephyrians had never heard of. Some were more advanced than the Zephyrians, others were less advanced. All of them thought they were part of a small galactic community. "Each race knows about only a few others," Torres explained. "The Hegemony controls who meets who. They decide which civilizations get to know about each other." "Why?" Nixra asked. "Control," Parker said simply. "If you do not know how many alien races exist, you cannot unite against the Hegemony." Dr. Carter leaned forward. "Captain, your people think they are free, but you follow Hegemony exploration rules. You use Hegemony trade standards. You report all discoveries to Hegemony agents." "But we chose to join the galactic community," Veltar protested. "Did you?" Torres asked. "Or were you contacted by Hegemony representatives who offered you membership in something that sounded official?" Veltar thought back to first contact between his people and the aliens. Strange beings had arrived at their homeworld, claiming to represent a galactic government. They had offered trade, technology, and friendship. In exchange, the Zephyrians agreed to follow certain rules about exploration and expansion. "The beings who contacted us," he said slowly. They were hegemony agents. Yes, Parker confirmed. Just like the ones who contacted 16 other races in this region. Molt looked at his instruments, the ones he used to scan for alien technology. If there are really 43 intelligent species nearby, why do our scanners only detect the 7 we know about? Because, Dr. Carter said, the hegemony has been teaching everyone to use the same scanning technology. Technology that cannot detect civilizations using different methods. Like humans, Veltar realized. Like humans, she agreed. We developed our own scanning technology. That is how we discovered the truth. Torres brought up a new display. It showed communication intercepts from dozens of alien civilizations. This is what we learned when we started listening to everyone, instead of just the official channels, she said. The messages were shocking. Alien races reporting to the hegemony about their neighbors, military buildups being planned, resource allocation being controlled. Some civilizations were being prepared for invasion, while others were being used as secret military bases. The hegemony has been playing all of you against each other, Parker explained. They tell each race that the others are potential threats. They encourage military development and then control where that military power gets used. But why come to Earth? Nixra asked. If the hegemony controls so much already, why do they need our planet? Dr. Carter's expression became grim. Because Earth is not just another planet to them. We are a test. A test of what? Torres activated a final display. It showed classified hegemony communications about Earth. Subject world continues to develop along expected parameters. Military response to discovery missions within acceptable ranges. Recommend proceeding to Phase 3 of the Integration Protocol. Integration Protocol, Veltar asked. The hegemony's plan for adding new civilizations to their empire. Parker said Phase 1 is long-range observation. Phase 2 is contact through proxy species. Phase 3 is direct control. Proxy species, Molt whispered. Like us. Exactly like you, Carter confirmed. Your people were sent here to make contact with humanity. To evaluate us for integration into the hegemony system. But we came here on our own, Veltar protested. We discovered Earth through our own exploration. Torres smiled sadly. Captain, look at these star charts again. Tell me how your people chose to explore this region of space. Veltar studied the charts. Slowly, he began to see the pattern. The Council suggested we explore sectors 7 through 12. They said these areas showed promise for new discoveries. And every other proxy species got similar suggestions, Parker said. Each one thinks they are making independent discoveries. But the hegemony has been guiding all of you to the same targets. Earth has been contacted by 7 different alien species in the past 10 years, Carter added. All of them think they discovered us. None of them know about the others. Until now, Parker said. The Zephyrians sat in stunned silence. Everything they thought they knew about galactic politics was a lie. Their own people were tools being used by a power they had never recognized. What happens now? Veltar asked. Now, Dr. Carter said, you have a choice. You can return to your people and report that Earth is suitable for integration. You can follow the plan the hegemony has made for you, or Nixra asked. Or you can help us expose the truth, Parker said. Help us show the galaxy what the hegemony really is. How? Torres gathered up her papers. By taking our message to the other proxy species. By telling them what you have learned here. But that would mean betraying the Council, Molt said. Betraying everything we believe. No, Carter corrected. It would mean freeing your people from a lie they never knew they were living. Veltar looked at his companions. They were scientists and explorers, not spies and rebels. But they were also intelligent beings who could recognize the truth when they saw it. If we help you, he said, what happens to Earth? Dr. Carter smiled. Earth takes care of itself, Captain. We have been planning for this moment for 40 years. Outside the window, Another simple transport was landing. But now Velt knew that nothing about Earth was simple, and he was beginning to understand that nothing about the galaxy was simple either. 1 week later, the meeting room had changed. Admiral Susan Clark, Earth's highest military leader, sat at the head of a large table. Around her were representatives from 6 different alien species. Captain Veltar was there, but he was no longer alone. Commander Jake Morrison stood near the main display, which now showed a complex web of communication networks spanning dozens of star systems. Ladies, gentlemen, and honored alien guests, Admiral Clark began. Today we reveal the final truth about our galaxy. Dr. Helen Brooks activated her instruments. 3 days ago, Captain Kesh sent our message to the other proxy species. Today, we see the results. The display changed to show real-time communications. Messages were flying between star systems, as alien civilizations discovered they were not alone in questioning the hegemony. The Verx Collective has confirmed hegemony manipulation of their exploration routes, Morrison reported. The Talar Federation has found evidence of false council directives. The Omega Republic has discovered spy networks in their government. Captain Veltar spoke up. My own people have begun investigating their communications with the council. What they found disturbs them greatly. A new voice joined the conversation. It came from the speakers, translated from an alien language. This is Ambassador Crix of the Vrex Collective. We have confirmed everything the humans told us. Our government is in emergency session. Another voice followed. Talar Federation reporting. We have exposed 17 hegemony agents in our military command. We demand answers. Admiral Clark nodded to Dr. Brooks. Show them the gravitational wave data. Brooks activated a new display. That made everyone in the room go quiet. It showed patterns of space-time distortions across the entire local region of the galaxy. This is what we discovered when we learned to read the stars themselves, Brooks explained. Gravitational waves carry information about everything that moves through space. Large ships, massive construction projects, energy weapons. The patterns on the screen were complex, but clear. They showed the real structure of galactic civilization. The hegemony has not been honest about their own size, Brooks continued. They claim to control 12 star systems. The gravitational data shows they actually control over 100 systems, whispered the Vrex ambassador through the speakers. But that is not the most important discovery, Admiral Clark said. Show them the quantum communication networks. The display changed again. This time it showed invisible communication beams, connecting star systems in patterns the aliens had never imagined. The hegemony has been monitoring every civilization in this region for over 200 years, Morrison explained. But they are not the only ones. What do you mean? Veltar asked. Dr. Brooks highlighted new sections of the data. The gravitational wave patterns show something else. Something the hegemony does not know about. The display revealed massive structures hidden in deep space. Ships larger than planets. Energy sources more powerful than stars. All of them watching the galactic community from the shadows. There are older civilizations out here, Brooks said quietly. Much older, and they have been watching everyone, including the hegemony. The room fell silent as the implications sank in. The hegemony thinks they control local space, Admiral Clark continued. But they are actually being evaluated by powers they do not even know exist. Commander Morrison activated a recording. This is a quantum communication intercept from 6 months ago. The source is unknown, but the target was a hegemony military base. An alien voice spoke in a language none of them recognized. The translation appeared on screen. Subject species shows promise for advancement to level 2 oversight. Recommend continued observation of manipulation protocols. Current proxy network achieving desired results. The hegemony, Admiral Clark said, is itself a proxy species. Captain Veltar stood up, his 4 eyes wide with shock. You are saying that the hegemony is being controlled by someone else. We are saying that the game is much bigger than any of us realized, Clark replied. Dr. Brooks activated the final display. It showed the real structure of local galactic civilization. Dozens of species being manipulated by the hegemony being manipulated by unknown older powers, and those powers apparently being observed by something even more advanced. How many levels are there? The Talar representative asked through the speakers. We do not know, Brooks admitted. But we have detected at least 4 levels of hidden control in our region alone. And where do humans fit into this structure? Veltar asked. Admiral Clark smiled. Nowhere. That is our advantage. I do not understand. Commander Morrison stepped forward. Captain, every other species in this region was contacted and brought into the system. They were given roles to play, rules to follow, and limits on their development. But humans were never contacted. Clark continued. We were ignored because we looked too primitive to matter. That gave us time to develop outside the system. We learned about the system by watching it, Brooks added. But we were never made part of it. That makes us invisible to the upper levels of control. Until now, Morrison said. The communications board lit up with incoming messages from across the galaxy. Word was spreading fast about the human revelations. Civilizations were questioning their governments. Military alliances were being examined. The careful structure of hegemony control was falling apart. What happens next? The Vrex ambassador asked. Admiral Clark stood up. Next, we find out how deep this really goes. We are going to contact the older powers directly. That could be dangerous, Veltar warned. Yes, Clark agreed. But hiding and being manipulated is also dangerous. At least this way, we choose our own risks. Dr. Brooks activated the quantum communication array. We are about to send a message to the unknown powers watching our region. We are going to tell them that the game has changed. What will you say? The Talar representative asked. The truth, Morrison replied. That humanity refuses to be anyone's test subject. That we will make our own choices about our future. And that, Admiral Clark added, we are prepared to help other species do the same. The message was sent. Quantum communication beams carried it instantly across hundreds of light years to the hidden watchers in deep space. Now they could only wait for an answer. Captain? Veltar looked around the room at the representatives of 6 different alien species. A week ago, they had all thought they were part of a small, controlled galactic community. Now they knew they were part of something vast and complex that none of them fully understood. Admiral Clark, he said, thank you for showing us the truth. Thank you for being brave enough to hear it, she replied. Outside the station, Earth looked peaceful and quiet. But appearances had taught them all not to trust what they could see. The stars had been telling their story all along. They had just needed to learn how to listen. 3 hours later, the quantum communication array received a response. It was short and in perfect human English. Message received. Evaluation protocols updated. Welcome to the real galaxy. Expect contact within 1 standard rotation. Admiral Clark read the message and smiled. Well, she said, I think we got there. Attention. Captain Veltar looked at the message and realized that their adventure was just beginning. They had thought they discovered Earth. Instead, Earth had discovered them, and now something much more powerful had discovered them all. The stars had kept their secrets for a long time, but secrets, like lies, could not last forever. The truth was always more interesting anyway.